Te tino whakamuri kia Anga Whakamua, a series dedicated to sharing stories from Te Tai Tokerau whānau about their own tupuna and kōrero tuku iho of Te Tai Tokerau.
Nō reira, ko te tahi mea pai kia hau, i te wiwi atu ki wenei kaikōrero, i te timatanga, mea nā rātu kia hau. E hoa, e korau e moheo ki ngā kōrero, e pāna ki ngā mate. Haere kā roa, e ahoa. Ko mua hui pū rātou. Ko puta mai ngā kōrero i tēnā o tēnā, e pāna ki ngā tini mate, me ngā tini tikanga, kua huri. Wetahi tikanga, e tikana kia koaro, ne? Kia orai te tangata. Nā iāhau e koraro atu ana ki ngā iwi o roto te hokianga, koraro mana rātou mo te ingoa tō rātou urupa, wāhi tapu, ne? Ko pūreiri. Nā, oho pai ana hau ki te rongo i tēnā kōrero. Hei ingoa mo te urupara. Nō reira iāhau uwi ana ki a rātou, whakaaro ana. Aini pēr, ko whai take tēnei ingoa, ki aua mate, ki aua wā, ne? So pūreire, kia noho pūreire is to sit in isolation, ne? Separation. Yeah, and that was, pūreire was actually a kupu, a tikanga, that was told to me by te pihopa, Kito, Pikahu, ne? Who talked about how our tikanga, how our tupuna had these tikanga, hei whakaola i a rātou. Yeah, noho pūreire, hei ko tāna. And as we were over there in the hokianga, and I heard that name, pūreire, I hoki waku mahara, ne? I remembered what our pihopa had said, and then it dawned on me going, and I had asked them, what does pūreire mean to them in the hokianga? And they weren't quite sure at the timatanga at the beginning of it. However, as we started to discuss different tikanga on it, it kind of dawned upon us all that possibly one of the meanings was about the isolation of those te hunga kua moe. Kia whakanoho a rātou ki te tahi wāhi kotahi, you know? Kia tiaki ai tātou te ora. When I heard that, I thought, man, miharo, you know, miharo, we've got these hidden gems, e kuhu ana ki roto I te tangata. But the good thing about this kaupapa was actually, we were pulling out some of these hidden stories that have long been dormant, I guess, or just waiting to come out. It's made us wānanga. What do these actually mean? What is the actual tikanga of this kupu? What is the actual reason why we're doing this tikanga? So that was the noho pūreire. Yeah, I thought for me that was a big bang. Wow. Our tupuna had these tikanga. Our tupuna had these kupu. Our tupuna had these processes to protect the living. And also, kia manaki te mate. Ne? Kia manaki te mate. You know? Well, one thing that did dawn on me though from Papawasi at Te Waihoroi, he had said, e horo ana tātou ki te waleware. You know? And I thought, yeah, that's right. That is, you know, ka nui te tiko tēnā kōrero. Aha ko pēhe te nui o ngā mate, pēhe te nui o ngā pakanga huri no te ao. Haere kā roa, ko wareware nei I a tātou. When tūwha I a huatanga, ne? A pāna ki a tātou. When we're happy, we all good. It's not until we're in need of something that we realize, what did my nanny do? What were some of the signs of the past that could help me today? Yeah. No one wants their medicine until they got a splitting headache. You know? No one goes to the doctor until tata mate ana te tangata. But when you're all good, so you never ever worry about any of that stuff. So maybe that's one of the reasons why we've forgotten some of these stories, or due to the trauma, ko whakataha. You know, we put them aside. Nani Heni, Auntie Heni had talked about in Pukipoto was the pūroimata, ne? The shooting of the gun. And I always wondered about that tikanga, you know, with us here at home. The different reasons why people would kia paku te pū. And she had talked about how she remembers when someone was affected with that mate of the time, they'd shoot the gun, as she would say, to let the people in the kāinga know that there's a mate coming home and they've been affected by a mate. a disease or influenza or something, you know. And in her words, she said, they shoot the gun to clear the pathway up to the wāhi tapu. So that the whānau nei, okay, we're going to stay out of the way, we'll stay out in our kāinga. You know, ka tangi hia rātou as they're passing our whare, passing our kāinga, heading up to the tapu, to te rangi haukaha. And I thought, wow, we weren't just cowboys shooting off guns for no reason, like some of our cousins, you know, do today. There was a purpose behind why they did it, eh? There was a purpose behind their tikanga, there's a purpose behind their mahi, and what it was about, hei tiaki te tangata e ora ana. Yeah, those were me.
Within my wānau of these kaumatua, most of them were in te reo Māori. And as you know, we all know that, this might be ruffle the feathers, but te reo has changed, ne? And as the language has changed, and our local dialect, our local kupu, the meanings of these kupu have changed over the years, the many years now, we have lost what they actually mean. So when our whānau were actually talking about kāinga, they weren't talking about our whare, our house that we live in. When they talk about kāinga here at home, they're talking about the community. You know, puki poto te kāinga, te kā, matawaia. So they always talked about a collective kāinga, not an individual kāinga. And for me, there's power in this kaupapa, looking back into the past to these pandemics, but also looking back into the past to our various tikanga and our kupu, bro. And what did they actually mean? Because now our whakaro around these kupu, around these tikanga, is very different to what they actually mean, what they actually did mean. I think that's a big thing, bro. That's a huge thing. Because a lot of us now are thinking individually, you know, mo te kotahi, taku tino oranga tiratanga, you know, taku papapono, mana motu hake. And then we're off to go and put the hand up, you know. But one of the big kōrero that was mean for me from Auntie Marilu, our power comes from the marae. You know, at the end of the day, we will return to the marae. You know, and so she's talking about the people who are associated with the marae, the collective people, the hapu, the tamariki, our mokopuna, our kaumatua, ngā mātua katoa pina i a tāua. You know, so I believe that we really need to regain and decolonize our mind, decolonize our reo, regain our reo, and me whakanui ka tika i te reo o tēnā kāinga, huri no i te motu, ko reira te tai oranga mo tatu kata, pono marika.
This kōrero really is about looking back to the past to help us navigate into the future. That's a big one for me.
Bueno, kia hau e hoa, koni atu i te rua te kauma rima tangata i ui e nei i ahau. Ko te mea nui ki ahau, ko tāku i rongo ai, ko te whakawhiti kōrero, ne? Tētahi ki tētahi. I believe that all aside, injections, not injections, pills, kawa, kumurahau, whatever it is, the biggest thing I think for all of us is communication. Me rapu i te ara, e whakaora i a tātou. And in my studio here, Uncle Ross, he would always tell me as a young fella, mā te hiringa i te mahara, ka taia ngā mea katoa. Through the power of the mind, anything is possible, ne? And I'll have this up in the studio for all of my clients that come in for moko. And as they sit there and they see it, they read it subliminally, those messages come in and then they believe, yes, I can do this. And I believe as a people, through our communication, sitting down together, frank discussions, we can get through anything, politically, health-wise, or whatever it is. If we go back to some of those tikanga and actually have wānanga around important take, and sit there from the start to the finish, and koina te tahi mate o tēnei wā. And for me, big believer is that kia karakia tātou i te timatanga, kia karakia tātou i te mutunga when we have these hui. And you need to be there from the start until the finish. If you leave before those, the karakia whakamutunga, koraru tātou. Even if you don't get to an agreement at the end of the hui, e pai ana. The discussion has been held, it's created, like you said, as you go home, ka timata tō roro ki te huri. Ne? Ka huri pai te roro, ka wānanga hi anō hoki. And that's where the wānanga within yourself has happened. Oh, what was it that Shehead said? Oh, what did Tupu say? What did Pāpā say? Yeah, that's right, now I'm starting to think this more, you know. I'm inclined to go this way now. And the next tweet we have, maybe we'll ka whiti atu tātou ki te ora, ki te māramatanga o te kaupapa. So that would be my biggest thing to all of any of our people is kia kaha tātou ki te kōrero, tētahi ki tētahi. I runga i te aroha o tētahi ki tētahi. Te respect, ne? For one another.
Te tino whakamuri kia Anga Whakamua, learning from the events of the past for the oranga o Te Tai Tokerau.